So I thought for today I would record things a little bit different in that I have to have this microphone, which I know is really, really quiet, and it's still only in one speaker as well, which is kind of annoying for me when I'm watching this back. And it's also annoying for you anyway. And the camera isn't actually that good as well, but who cares? Roll the titles. So it's actually been a while since I've done a vlog from my bed, and so I thought, well, now's the time to do one because I can. That's why. And today I kind of have like several points to make, and I kind of think they're valid points, and just strange stuff has been happening. The first one is that I actually think I might be turning into Davey Wavey. And I'll put a link below to his channels. And if you just watch a couple of Davey Wavey videos and then like remember the story which I'm going to tell you now, you'll understand why I think I might be turning into Davey Wavey. Not only because I'm doing this with no top on, but that's kind of the main reason I watch Davey Wavey, I'm not going to lie. But some things happened to me the other day, and they are just, they're so unreal. So the first thing is, last Saturday, I was going and helping a friend who lives in a town near to mine, but I have to go and get the bus from where I live to this other town. And my mother dropped me off down at the bus station, but I had to walk like literally around the corner to go and get into this bus station. So I get out the car and go and start walking along, and I have a cigarette, and this random man, who I presume must have been drunk or high or something, comes up to me and says, "Have I got a spare cigarette?" And whenever anyone says that to me, my automatic response is no. And the reason I always say no is because I don't buy cigarettes thinking, I'm going to keep these as spare ones in case anyone asks. When I buy cigarettes, I buy them because I know that I'm going to smoke them. So, yeah, I always say no to that. And then he went, well, can I have a couple of puffs on that one? Oh, I can't really say no because that's just harsh, and, you know, God knows what could happen. So I let him have a couple of puffs on it. And he was talking to me, and he was asking, you know, do you know, I can't even remember who he said now. And then, you know, I was just humouring him and getting along with it. And then I took the cigarette back and, you know, carried on smoking and, you know, walking along. And I thought, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, you know what, Karma? I've done my bit for the day. You do your bit now. No sooner had I finished that thought, like the little voice in my head, no sooner did it finish saying that, then I'd put my earphones back in. I was listening to my music, and I was walking up the ramp to go and get this bus. A stranger just taps me on the shoulder and mouths something. I couldn't understand him. I was just like, what? You know, took my earphone out. I was like, what? And he said, are you going to get a bus? And I said, well, yeah. And he handed me his day pass for the bus. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically you buy a pass and you can go on any of that company's buses and you don't have to pay, basically. And so, yeah. So he gives me that and then walks off. So, you know, I shouted thanks, and then when I got on the bus, and it was only when I sat on the bus and I was like, how fast did karma just work for me? You know, you do something and you get something back. It was really bizarre for me, but it worked. So I'm really happy about that. So yay, karma. The other thing, what made me think the next day that I was turning into Davey Wavey is that a couple of my friends came and met me, and we went out for a couple of drinks, like early hours in the morning. And my friend who sat next to me was saying about some girl who, okay, wasn't exactly slim. You know, well, I'm not going to lie, she was a little bit on the big side. But she was wearing this top, and, you know, you could see that, you know, she was a big girl. And, she, you know, she was walking in front. She was on a night out with a friend. She was enjoying herself, wearing what she felt comfortable in. And my friend turned around and went, "Oh, that's disgusting. I don't want to look at that. That's really nasty. You'd think they'd hide it away." And I don't know what made me think it or say it. But I just turned round and I went, "Do you know how wrong that actually sounds?" I said, No, they should hide that in public. That's disgusting. I don't want to see that. My friend knows that I'm gay, and, you know, she will defend me to the hilt if anyone says anything about me being gay. And I, for some reason, just turned round and said, "Do you know what? What you've just said is exactly what a homophobic person would say to me. If I was, you know, if I was out with a partner and, you know, if we were to hug, hold hands, kiss, show some affection to each other in public, that is exactly what the homophobic person would say, that they don't want to see that in public, that it's wrong, that we should be hiding that. That's what a homophobic person would say. And it doesn't matter that it's not, she's not being homophobic and saying it about a gay person. She's being, I don't know what you'd call it, fatophobic? I don't know what you'd call it. But, you know, basically the moral of my message, even though I was drunkenly rambling on, the moral of my message, what I summed it up with, was saying, you know, you've got to remember that there are different people out there, people with differences. And if that person feels comfortable coming out in nothing but a pair of hot pants and a boob tube, good for them, because they feel comfortable enough in their body to do that. So, you know what, actually have some respect for them, because there aren't many people that will go out and be comfortable in what they're wearing. So that was kind of my message for that one. And it was only the next day when I remembered about how Fastcom had worked for me and about the things that I had said. And I was like, hang on, I might be turning into Davey Wavey. Worrying. That's all I'm going to say. So, of course, there are other topics which I would like to talk about. And, of course, it has to be said from a gay person, big congratulations to America on the don't ask, don't tell being obliterated. Just yay. I've got a separate video of that which will be coming up in a couple of minutes, or I don't know when. And it's when I did my own little bit of research into what people thought of don't ask, don't tell, and the fact that it has been wiped off the earth. I will do my best to link that video below. So go and check it out. Actually, I might put it as a video response. I only just thought of that. I'm so technologically advanced. It is amazing. But anyway, so yeah, uber happy about that. The other thing which has kind of gotten on my nerves and is still about the LGBT community is all this stuff about Chaz Bono. For those of you who don't know who Chaz Bono is, it might help if I say Chastity Bono. Helping? No? Really? Oh well. So, in the 60s or 70s? I don't know when, but years ago, Sonny and Cher, you know who they are. They had this TV show, it's the Sonny and Cher show, and all the spin-offs and everything, blah, blah, blah. They had a daughter called Chastity Bono. Really, really sweet girl. And then years later, comes out she's a lesbian. And then more recently has come out as a transgendered person. And it's amazing for me to see the hate that people have against the transgender part of the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender community. I mean, you have like the LGBT umbrella, so to speak, and that alone gets a lot of hate. But then underneath that umbrella, there's like the different parts of the LGBT community. So you have the lesbians, there's hate for lesbians. You have the gays, trust me, there's hate for gays. You have the bisexuals, oh my god, hate for the bisexuals. And then the transgenders. And the hate against the transgender part of the LGBT community, for me, is something I've never actually looked into. I've known that there was hate against that part of the community, but it's something that I've never actually looked into. And for me, yes, it has taken Chaz to come out there and be basically the face of the hate, if that makes sense. There are millions of videos all over the internet from people who are transgender, from the ones who have decided that they are no longer comfortable being the sex that they were born with and want to change that. And, you know, yeah, I've known that there's hate against that part of the community. I think that everyone in the LGBT community knows that there is hate against the transgender people. Some of it even from within the LGB part of the community. The most shocking thing is that people still say, one of the comments I replied to, and I've seen quite a few times, is, you know what, her DNA is still of a woman. She is still a woman, right? My only response to this, and something that Cher, love Cher, has said herself, is that, and if you can picture this, sorry, I'm moving my camera. If you can picture this, right, just clear your mind and go on this little trip with me, right? So, you are, at the moment, male or female, right? Okay. You wake up one morning and you are in the body of the opposite sex. How do you feel? Because you've gone from being a woman or a man to being a man or a woman, right? You've made that change. Your mentality is still the same. But if you had boobs, you look down there, you've got a dick. If you had a dick, you look up, you've got a boobs. Okay? Now, how do you honestly feel? Right. Keep that in mind, right? Because the next time you look at a transgender person and you remember that in the back of your mind you looked down and you thought, what the fuck? I'm not this sex. This isn't me. I'm not this sex. That is exactly what a transgendered person has gone through all of their life, up until they've had, you know, either the operation or, you know, they've started the treatments and the therapies and all that sort of stuff. That's what they've gone through. Can you imagine having to put up with that for, you know, most of your life in some cases? Can you imagine that? So the next time you turn round and say, it's not natural, the DNA is still of a woman or a man or whatever they were, you think back to how you would feel if you woke up and you were the opposite sex. Because that's how it's felt for them. So because they've gone and done something about that, you should have a lot of respect for that person. Because even though I'm not a transgender person myself, having spoken to transgender people and looked into this, and even just common knowledge, it is not an easy thing to go through. It's really not. I don't know about places in the rest of the world, but I know that here in the UK, if you want to have a sex change, you have to go through hell and back, like serious hell. You have to go to counselling, you have to go to therapy, you have little treatments first. That, you know, one of the ones that I spoke to, he was male going to female, and they started some basic treatments. It was basically like the hormones, where you will grow boobs, and I can't say boobs without giggling, that's just me. And it was when he got the boobs, and, you know, like, he was doing it himself, he decided, I can't go through with this. This isn't me. I don't know who I am. And that's a scary thought to have. And, you know, yes, there's aftercare, and, you know, I don't know how he is today, but that's not the main point. You have to go through loads before they will actually, you know, change your sex. Because these hormone treatments, you know, it's hormones, your body will get rid of them eventually. So, yeah, and I'm just rambling on here, so I'm going to sum this up, right? If you ever feel that you have to hate a person because of their sex or sexuality, put yourself in them shoes first. Actually think, and seriously think, what that person has had to go through in order to be where they are. Just have a little think about that and see where you end up. So, I'm going to end this video now anyway. I'm rambling.